Welcome back to Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host Connor, and with me as always is my co-host David.
That's me.
That's the one. Today we're talking about The Simpsons, Season 1, Episode 5, Bart the General, original broadcast date February the 4th, 1990.
Very good.
I really love this episode.
Oh yeah, I like this episode too. So far it's my favourite.
Me too,
Season, definitely.
Yeah. I love that dream sequence.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the dream sequence right off the bat.
Okay.
Maybe the highlight of the episode, or one of the best parts of the episode.
So,
before we actually jump into anything, what do you think the episode was about?
Okay.
What's the plot?
The general plot is Bart. Lisa's got cupcakes for her teacher in her class.
Yeah.
She's making those, and Bart wants one. So they're heading out to school, arguing about it. Otto gets one. Bart still wants one. Promises everything under the sun. Eventually gets one scooped up off the floor.
Butters Lisa up enough to get one scooped up off the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And then one of, we just heard his name.
Nelson?
Aye, thank you very much. It just went right out of my head. Nelson's sort of goons, I guess.
His wee lackeys.
Yeah, one of his wee lackeys next to the box of cupcakes and starts munching a couple and then stomps on the rest of them after Bart threatens him to get him back. At which point Nelson rocks up, threatens Bart. Skinner does sweet Fanny all about it.
A very realistic depiction of a teacher.
Oh, very.
Seeing one student threaten another.
Yeah. Or at least for the time, anyway. Probably not now. I'm sure that other kid might have had the police called on him these days.
It was still that way when I was in school.
Yeah. You're not that much younger. Don't make it sound like I'm 95 here.
When I was in school, we were sitting playing Nintendogs.
Shit.
If you castrated someone else's Nintendog without their permission, you wouldn't do a damn thing about it.
It's true. I never had Nintendogs at school. Nintendo.
I never had.
The company
I've actually
didn't exist. No.
It was a Japanese trading card company at the time. They made dominoes.
No, Nintendo DS's didn't. I think maybe the original DS might have just come out, but
I never had Nintendogs at all.
Oh, right. I had Nintendogs because it came with the DS.
Right. I got the one that came with Super Mario Bros.
I had the one with Lassie. You know, the Lassie dog in it?
Yeah, the German Shepherd. Not the German Shepherd. What's it called? A sheepdog?
Yeah, the Old English sheepdog.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm glad, by the way, that this episode we've went off track in the first 90 seconds.
Perfect. So anyway, the rest of the plot is Bart seeking advice from pretty much everyone he knows, every male family member.
And Marge.
And Marge.
Yeah.
Accidentally. Didn't really actually ask for it. She just offered it.
He got it.
But yeah, you got the help. But yeah, so just generally seeking help to fight Nelson.
Yeah.
And to deal with Nelson, actually, because he wasn't really specifically looking to fight him at the start.
Beaten to a pulp.
Yes, exactly. And consistently rolled home in a trash can. So yeah, he gets assistance kind of from Marge, from Homer, from his grandpa, and from Herman.
Yeah, aye.
And then Herman, with his help, Grandpa's help, and Bart, they all train up like a small army of kids to fight Nelson, resulting eventually in Nelson's capture over at the Simpson household, where they basically stop playing soldier and have some chill fun time with some new cupcakes.
And that's the end of the episode.
And that is it. The end of the episode is Bart and Nelson cheersing to cupcakes.
I like that the end of the episode brings it round to the cupcakes
again,
the instigating incident.
Exactly the same icing, just chocolate icing on chocolate cupcakes.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good episode. Like I said at the start, it was definitely hands down
very
so far
funny.
Favorite. Yeah.
Very creative.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the early Simpsons games are based on Bart having dreams or nightmares.
Yes.
Or having a kind of overactive imagination.
Yeah. This was good because it was a lot. There was a good couple of times that he was like just imagining something happening or like picturing Homer, like the advice Homer gave him.
Homer watching him get beaten up. His advice fails.
Yeah, miserably.
Aye.
Just does enough to piss him off, piss Nelson off. That's about it. More.
Aye. What did you think of Nelson? This is his first appearance.
Oh yeah, so it is.
This is now official at the beginning of our famous segment, untitled untitled first appearance segment. Aye.
So Nelson
Muntz.
All right. I kind of like Nelson because not as a person particularly, but
I like him as a person in his later appearances.
Oh yeah, well, you definitely. But obviously, he's just a bully at the moment. But honestly, by the end of the episode, you're not really sure what to think of him at the end because he's actually like just the last few seconds is like nice.
Yeah, he's. But definitely the last few seconds.
Yeah,
after
it's
that
the last
treaty
few seconds.
gets signed,
but
they sign a treaty to make sure he's going to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't actually sign the treaty.
Not that we see. He agrees to signing the treaty.
It does.
I don't think it ever
immediately after that, after Bart suggests signing the treaties, that's when Marge comes out and saying, "Are you done playing soldiers?"
That's a fair point. I guess he doesn't actually sign the treaty.
No. Which might explain some of the later bullying, I guess.
I don't think he really bullies Bart as much in the future.
No, not to any degree like this.
No, it's
But yeah, so it could be just the fact that, like child bullies or that kind of thing where obviously like they wouldn't openly bully you in front of your parents. So maybe it was just being nice because Marge and Homer were there. More importantly, Marge, probably. But
I think there's future episodes where Nelson bullies Homer.
Yes, I think there are. But yeah, so it could just be that. But I like him as a character, and I think it's definitely a good thing he was introduced because Bart needed a sort of
antagonist.
Yeah,
he kind of gets replaced by Jimbo, Dolph, and Kearney.
Yeah,
who haven't made an appearance yet.
No.
However, this is the first appearance of the two Weasel brothers. That's Nelson's little lackeys. They're called the two Weasel brothers.
Sounds about right of the description, to be fair.
I don't know that they're brothers.
I wouldn't say they're... I mean, they might be.
They could be. There's nothing
possible.
saying they're not.
But
they're
one of them's yellow and one of them's black.
Yes.
So...
Well, they look identical outside.
Yeah, they do. Their faces, the way they're drawn and everything.
Their parents could be an interracial couple, and one of them's light skinned and one of them's dark skinned.
Yeah, but
they're not in the show.
Fair enough.
They're not in the show enough to really.
Not really warrant any absolute, I guess.
And they're brothers and not twins.
That's a good point.
Looking like they're the same age,
and they look almost identical in every other way.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of need an identifying feature between them. Otherwise, it'd be really strange. You would never know they're brothers unless there's two of them on there.
Yeah.
Or you would never lose two of them unless there was two of them on there.
Yeah.
It's a good description for them, if nothing else, the weasel. Because stereotypically, when you call someone a weasel, they're usually like, they'll pick on you, but only if they've got backup.
Yeah.
At that point, if they lose the backup, then they're just going to weasel their way out of the situation.
Aye.
Which they do as soon as Nelson's getting beat. They're
Nelson's
like, "Oh, we were just doing
on the
back
foot." They abandon him.
Yep.
First appearance of Janie Powell.
All right. I cannot remember who that is.
She's a black schoolgirl who's kind of friends with Lisa. Her original intention as a character was that she was going to be kind of Lisa's Milhouse.
All right, okay.
She kind of gets sidelined. Yeah, she's not
left in the background, clearly, because
if I showed you a photo, you would recognise her.
Right. Okay.
She wears a pink dress.
Okay, vaguely.
I'll
drum up a picture on our third co-host.
Google search Janie Powell, a purple dress. Sorry, my mistake.
Oh, her. Janie. Yeah. Okay, I know that. Yeah.
Janie. Her most famous quote is, "Are you going to marry a carrot, Lisa?"
My God. Yeah, she was definitely left in the background.
Aye. I think Janie needs a resurgence.
Yeah.
First appearance of Herman.
Yeah.
Herman's military antiques, where you can buy Hitler's teeth for $25.
Fucking Jesus, when I saw that, man. I just want to know where he got the teeth from. It's not Hitler's teeth,
No.
let's face it. Whose teeth
I'm
are
pretty
they?
sure Hitler's teeth were blown into the back of his head.
Yeah, they probably were. Yeah.
On the bunker floor.
But he doesn't have very many teeth, so maybe they're his.
That's a possibility. I'm a big fan of Herman.
Oh, I like Herman. He's a psycho, but I like him.
He's part of the darker underbelly of Springfield that you don't get much of now or in later seasons.
Yeah.
This is back when like Snake was a dangerous character.
Aye.
Like Snake and Herman.
Yeah.
And kind of Mo fit into this sort of
weird sort of, well, not weird, but
seedy
yeah
background.
Yeah.
Aye. Lastly, first appearance technically of Old Jewish Man.
What?
First appearance of Old Jewish Man.
Okay. The old man with the long beard?
No, that's Jasper.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should he had a name.
Old Jewish Man. That's this character's name.
Really?
That's his official name.
Wow.
He's the old man with the tracksuit on and the grey hair at the back of his head.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that his name is Old Jewish Man is because I used to play The Simpsons Tapped Out, the mobile game.
Oh.
And I unlocked him, and his name is Old Jewish Man.
Wow. Yeah, that's when you know you're not even a side character.
You're a background extra at most. When Jasper has a name and you're Old Jewish Man. First speaking role of Jasper.
Yeah. It is.
He was in Homer's Odyssey.
Bullying Grandpa.
They become very close friends in later episodes.
Yeah.
Where Jasper is like Abe's closest friend in the nursing home.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this one he just bullies him for his newspaper because he wants to steal his crossword.
Surely there's another newspaper in there.
Yeah, but he wants his.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't want to do the crossword. He wants to deprive Abe of his crossword.
He's probably already done the crossword in his newspaper and then forgot it with his dementia and now he's going to fill it out again.
There we go.
Get a different set of answers.
Sitting there
each
going,
time.
who the fuck filled out my crossword? What asshole got to this paper before I got to it? Well, I mean, Abe.
Yeah.
I'll go with Nick his one.
First appearance in name only of Miss Hoover.
Yes.
Who in this episode is Mrs. Hoover.
Oh.
According to Lisa. Must have been some sort of a divorce.
Single.
I've seen Miss Hoover in other episodes and I would divorce her too.
Oh, okay.
Very prickly woman. You're laughing at my use of the word prickly?
Yeah, I just do the
That's the best way to describe it. She's a prickly woman.
Yeah, she is.
Cunt.
That's the other way of describing her.
There's a specific episode. Let's not get into it.
Yeah.
That's the
we'll
end
get
of
to
my...
it when we get to it.
Yeah. That's the end of the segment.
First appearances.
Unnamed first appearance segment.
Aye.
That dream sequence.
Yeah.
One of the things that did occur to me that I don't think they could do now in the dream sequence is when Nelson is chasing Bart through the school as his bullying. Bart's the bullied child. And Bart picks up
a machine gun and like a Tommy gun
and fires it at Nelson.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Also a collection of throwing daggers.
I think the throwing daggers would fly now. It's cartoony enough, but picking up a machine gun in a school and firing it at your bully.
Which he found in a gym locker floor.
Well, that's fine. That's America.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
You're not going to find any on a gym locker floor now, surely.
Ah, come on.
Not a Tommy gun, mate.
I'm not a Tommy
Maybe
gun.
a fucking pistol. Maybe a 22 or something.
Maybe a 12 gauge shotgun. This is America, mate. Maybe if you looked in a bird's nest, you would find an RPG.
And a tank gun or something.
What's that in the back of the ice cream van? That's just my grenade launcher. Just in case.
Oh, fucking hell.
Your mailman's strapped in America, mate. What's that you got there?
Certain parts.
Is that a package for me? That's a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. I know what you're thinking. Did I deliver 6 letters or did I deliver 7? Well, you feel lucky, punk. That's what America's like.
That's our fucking Fido Goes West podcast.
Fido Goes Postal. Clint Eastwood presents Fido Goes Postal.
Fucking jeez. Oh, man.
But yeah, I like the dream sequence. I feel like keep coming back to this dream sequence. Really creative visuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
And then coming out of the dream sequence with Nelson saying lunchtime because Milhouse is saying it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
Great stuff all around.
Yeah, very good. Definitely best animation. Also, just a nice wee point to make was the backgrounds as well on this are actually not that really stupid color gradient thing that's going on. They are actually just almost not quite one solid block color. Mm-hmm. But like the gradient is very, very subtle and not something that like really jars at you.
The animation on this episode was so good, in fact, that my recurring segment, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Yeah,
it's not happening this week because there's no blunders.
There's one I discovered or noticed. I didn't discover it. I wasn't the first person to fucking notice this shit. But I noticed, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily a blunder, but it's definitely a continuity issue. Mm-hmm. And that is Grandpa throwing water balloons at Homer from Bart's treehouse, which is in the back garden while Homer is standing outside the front door.
Yeah, that treehouse moves around. That
treehouse is in the back garden.
It's firmly planted in the back garden in future episodes, but it's kind of floaty
everywhere. In this one, when they kind of zoom into it at most places, most other angles, and most other segments, it's in the back garden as well.
There's a scene where they show it in this episode and there's a fitted light in the ceiling. Which it was so strange when we saw it when we were watching it just now. You mistook it
for like a general, like an old general's hat.
Because that made more sense that Herman would wear a general's hat. Then that you would have a fitted light bulb with a shade inside a treehouse.
Yeah, Bart's treehouse.
I don't think that's there in future episodes.
I don't think so. You'd be lucky if you got a light bulb. I don't think he even has that because it's just a knocked together piece of wood.
It's Homer built it, so it's not a good treehouse.
You wouldn't want electricity running to that, surely. I mean, to be fair, Homer might run electricity to it. Then Bart would probably be fried. I
think Homer's too lazy to do that kind of thing.
But also at that same point, there is like an entire almost scale mock-up of a segment of Springfield on a very nice mahogany table.
I would assume that came from maybe Herman's Military Antiques.
He pulled out a map and didn't turn it around and go, I have a segment of this street we can just talk about. He pulled out a map to start with and shoved
a map
it
of an
in
island,
it.
which is not Springfield.
Yes, yeah. And said that the Carthaginians knew the Romans knew the Carthaginians knew that the key to
Springfield was
Elm Street.
I love Herman. He's such a nutbag.
He is a fucking nut.
How rare is it? So name another character in an animated show who just has one arm. Not like he's a weird alien because he's an amputee.
Yeah.
Name another character in any TV show.
He is the kid that was alluded in the previous episode.
Yes.
Where
Mrs.
one of the,
Krabappel.
Mrs. Krabappel said about don't put your hands out the window.
Once a little boy put his hand out the
Yes.
window and lost
his arm. And then Bart makes a joke about being him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Herman.
Yeah. I have a bit of information about that in my trivia segment.
All right. Well, we can just jump straight onto the trivia if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
This is 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Perfect.
Great stuff.
I feel like I'm more excited in the last episode for that.
Yeah.
So I was like,
well,
woo!
I have good trivia.
All right. Woo!
I have 14 points of good trivia.
All right, do it again. Introduce it again.
I have 13 points of good trivia, sorry.
Okay. You have 1 point of trivia.
one of my points of trivia is first appearance, which is a different segment on this show. All right, It's time for 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Woo!
There we go. Fuck yes. Herman's story of how he lost the arm is a callback joke to Mrs. Krabappel telling the kids not to stick their arms out the window. However, this was going to be the start of a running gag where every time Herman appears, he has a different story for how he lost his arm.
All right, nice.
They only did one.
No.
Actually, I think there is a second example of this. Weirdly enough, it's in like season 28.
Huh.
It's way in the future. There's a different story of how Herman lost his arm. I think it's an episode where Herman also has his last name revealed.
All right.
So that's exciting.
Yes.
Excited to see that.
Yep. In 25 years' time.
In the punching bag scene, on the shelf, you clocked this when we were watching it.
Yeah.
There's a happy little elf.
Yep.
And next to it, there's a Life is Hell bunny.
Yes,
From Matt Groening's original comic book.
Yes, yeah.
Here's a good bit of trivia for you.
Okay. I'm sitting down.
Edge of your seat.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
This episode had problems with the censors, who did not want the characters to say Family Jewels. Homer says it twice when he's talking about...
Really?
Yeah.
So is that why they put Grandpa?
The producers ignored the notes, and Family Jewels remained in the episode. The act of attempted censorship was reflected in the part where Grandpa Simpson writes an angry letter complaining of how sexualized television has become, and gives a list of words he never wants to hear on TV again, one of which is Family Jewels.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the other two are bra and crotch or something like that.
Bra.
Yes, crotch, because in a different episode of the show, episode 1, Simpsons roasting on an open fire, remember he says don't get the laser anywhere near your crotch or your eyes, and they tried to fight it.
Right, yeah.
There we go, look at that. That was a bit of trivia off my noggin.
Alright, 14. You were right.
I was right. I've got it. I'm always right. This is the first episode.
Don't fact check any of this.
Especially not that stuff about 3 blind mice.
Ah, shit.
This is the first episode that John Swartzwelder wrote.
Okay.
He has written more episodes than anyone else in the history of The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. I didn't know that.
I've got big trivia in this. This is big trivia.
I am riveted.
This is 3 blind rats trivia. That's how big it is.
City rats as well.
Aye.
City rats.
3 blind alligators in the
fucking
sewer.
Alsatian.
Bart confronts a soldier who says he's lost his nerves, to which Bart responds by slapping him and saying, "I won't have cowards in my army."
Yep.
Grandpa then slaps Bart and says, "You can push them out of a plane, you can march them off a cliff, you can send them off to die on some godforsaken rock. For some reason you can't slap them, they'll apologise to that boy right now." This is a reference to real-life General George S. Patton slapping a soldier who was in the infirmary dealing with PTSD during World War II. Patton was subsequently required to publicly apologise and was removed from the front lines as a result.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. The same historical events that are dramatised in the movie Patton from 1970.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very good. Very good. No,
Yeah.
I didn't clock the exact reference, but I clocked that it was a reference.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that before.
Yeah.
The patent thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking mad, that.
Big trivia.
Like you said, still on the edge of my seat.
When a boy kisses Lisa and the kiss is photographed, obviously that's a reference to the famous picture of a kiss in Times Square on VJ Day.
Yeah.
However, the woman in the real photo, Greta Zimmer Friedman, stated in 2005 that the kiss was non-consensual.
Yeah.
She was grabbed very hard and kissed by a perfect stranger without agreeing to it, which means the scene in this episode is prophetic of the revelation with Lisa getting angry and slapping the boy who kissed her.
Yeah.
The Simpsons predicted it.
Yeah, they did. Oh, we need a new segment for this shit, because there's a lot of this shit.
We'll get to it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But we need a segment for that, because it's going to be a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Also, we're going to have to edit old podcasts when new stuff gets done. Turns out it's prophetic as well. But yeah, I did actually. I remember that story actually like happening.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that.
Me too.
When it was.
I don't think I read about it. I think I heard about it.
I probably heard about it and then read about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. That happening. Yeah, there you go.
The boot camp sequence has multiple references to Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the sunglasses reflection.
Sunglasses
I love
and chewing on. That's incredible. That's straight out of Full Metal Jacket.
Brilliant. It's possibly the second best piece of animation on there as well.
Yeah, in this episode.
Yeah. Obviously, just this episode. Obviously, dream sequence number 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
Herman's appearance, minus the amputated arm, is inspired by John Swartzwelder.
Is it?
Yeah, the guy I just mentioned who wrote the most episodes.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Based on his appearance. Minus the missing arm, but including
Hopefully
the cigarette.
not as crazy. But either way, good mind.
He's written the most episodes of The Simpsons. I think he's a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
This is the first Star Wars reference on the show.
Yeah.
In fact,
that's at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. Bart says the Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Which goes to show how old this episode is, because there's been 11 movies.
Oh, shit. I always forget how many of the
4 or 5 live action TV shows and countless animated shows.
God. I always forget about how many there are. I'm still of the mind that I'm not that old that it's still a trilogy in my mind when I think of Star Wars. But when I think of Star Wars, there's 6
only
movies.
2 Star Warses. There's the Star Wars 1977 and there's the Star Wars Christmas special. I stopped watching after 1978.
Oh man.
The shot of the helmet lying on the ground. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's taken from The Longest Day.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. That's good.
This episode, along with Seinfeld, the tape, were used in a Dartmouth College experiment to study brain activity in relation to humorous moments in television shows. The results were published in a 2004 issue of the academic journal Neuroimage, whatever. The researchers noted...
No one's going to know.
The researchers noted, during moments of humour detection, significant brain activity was noted in the left posterior middle temporal gyrus and left inferior frontal gyrus.
Fair enough.
Very nice.
Yeah. Brain terminology. I don't know it.
Bits of the brain. Things went boom boom clap. Things lit up. In the old noggin. The scene in which Bart is being chased by Nelson in his dream, our favourite scene, as well as Homer's fight with the punching bag, were taken out of syndication due to violence.
What? Oh, with the gun.
I could understand them cutting out the gun.
But the whole scene, though? The whole sequence?
You could probably cut out even the bit with the knives and just have the bit where Nelson's chasing him. And Homer fighting the punching bag.
You just bit it.
Yeah.
and ripped a bit of the punch bag off. It's not like the punching bag was a punching bag with eyes and a mouth.
Yeah.
It wasn't a punching bag that resembled and was stuffed to resemble Nelson and then ripped apart.
Yeah.
It was just a punching bag shaped punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's wrong with that?
Who knows?
Well, they won't cut Itchy and Scratchy.
No.
They rolled a Scratchy
head to his corpse in the last episode.
Through his skeleton in the last episode. That was alright.
And
that's mild stuff for Itchy and Scratchy.
Herman's voice is based on George Bush Sr.
Right.
No.
Bush.
George Bush Jr.
Aye.
The original George. The George Bush who was maybe president at the time of this airing, I think. Because it was Bush, then Clinton, then Bush again.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
There we go.
One thing you can say about Bill Clinton, he's always deep in the bush.
Yeah, it's probably why there was some issues.
You know the scene at the end where they're throwing all those water balloons on Nelson?
Mm-hmm.
That's set to the theme from the movie Patton.
All right, nice.
It was originally going to be set to the song War, What Is It Good For?
All right. Any reason why it changed? Or do you know of
they
any
just
reason?
felt that it wasn't fitting. It wasn't like a licensing issue. They had the rights to the song and they were like, this just doesn't fit, right? Yeah. Or maybe if it was that they didn't get the rights to the song, but they animated it originally with Patton. And then they were just like, oh, this actually fits way better.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Look it up on your own.
The fuck are you listening to this for?
Fuck off.
Our one fucking listener.
It's like, alright, I guess I'll.
Well.
Guess I will.
Guess. Right.
That is the end of 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Perfect. Very good.
Lovely
very,
segment.
Very good.
A beautiful segment of 3 Blind Mice trivia
today. I'm so
today.
close to the edge of my seat, I'm on my back.
Well, you can sit back now because it's finished.
All right. So what do you think about this?
I love this episode. I know we said that at the beginning, but I think it's easily the best episode so far, and I think it's also the best representation of what the show would become in the next couple of seasons.
Right.
Not quite what it would become at its
height,
modern era or height.
Yeah.
But season 2, 3, and 4 definitely feel more in tune with this than they do with the previous episode.
At the moment. Yeah.
What's the previous episode called?
Shit. Wait. God damn it, man.
I can sit this on the arm of my chair.
Oh, this whole time. Well, at least we're only on, episode 5? When you discover you can rest the mic on the arm of your chair?
Family. The Simpsons.
Something. Something at home. It's like disappointment at home or some shit. Something like that. What's that?
There's no disgrace like home.
That's it.
Let me get it without the chair creaking. There's no
I'll say it. This way it's on a different track. There's no disgrace like home.
There's
Oh, fucking hell.
Here's a fun fact for you, not quite a bit of trivia. Even though Miss Hoover gets mentioned in this episode, she doesn't appear in this season.
Really?
Yeah,
not
at all.
Huh.
Oy.
Well, what a cunt anyway.
Fucking hell.
Where? Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. We're getting there.
We're closing in. Alright.
Yes.
So, something I noticed was that the tears when Bart's crying in the bathtub. I find it really funny when Homer dries his tears with the
hairdryer.
The hairdryer and blows his entire face back. It looks like that animation reminds me of in Weird Al Yankovic's Drive-Thru.
Yeah. When you turn the radio on. Yeah. Stuck in the drive-thru.
That's the one, stuck in the drive-thru. But what I was getting at originally is the janky animation when Bart is crying looks very un-Simpsons.
It does.
In fact,
It's really strange.
if anything, it looks more like The Land Before Time.
Yes.
When you saw like
yeah.
It's got that kind of very childish or aimed at children animation from the 80s, late 80s, early 90s that you would see in something like A Land Before Time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I kind of noticed that when it like, because you get a close up of his face.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like really noticeable. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Also, that like we get X-rays in episodes in The Simpsons of Bart.
Yeah.
So we know where his skull is.
Mm-hmm.
When Nelson's hitting him, his skull is bending.
It's
into
becoming
all
like,
sorts of different
like
shapes.
a sack of potatoes where it just becomes, or a sack of grain where it becomes deformed wherever Nelson is hitting.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I love the anticlimax of that fight as well.
Yeah.
Where Bart rocks up, he's like, put your hands up. And Bart puts his hands up and then he punches him in the face like 10 times.
Yeah.
And then they chuck him in the bin.
He's just like, all right, well,
guess we can
a crisp handshake.
Toss you in the bin and we'll see you tomorrow for the same treatment.
Yeah.
Aye.
Does 315 work for you? one of the Weasel brothers.
I think the Weasel brothers moved to Shelbyville.
Did they?
They disappear from the show, and then I think in like a much later season, in the 20s ish, they show up again in like a one-off appearance, and Nelson's like, I haven't seen you in a long time or something, and they're like, yeah, we moved to Shelbyville. Or to a different school or something like that.
Fair enough. Huh.
Aye.
I guess they've got to dredge up a few characters here and there.
Yeah, you have to do something when you're on season 29.
Aye. But yeah, no, it's good. I think have we not covered something?
Homer says that Grandpa has grey hair. Something I've noticed. Something that just occurred to me. Homer sees Grandpa throw water balloons at him, and then he calls
him the kid with the grey hair. The
tall grey-haired kid. Or tall geriatric grey-haired kid or something like that. Yeah,
something like that. We may have added the geriatric part.
Does Grandpa have grey hair?
He's got spikes like Bart.
Yeah.
At the top of his head.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any hair. Not that I noticed.
Or is that his head? I've never really figured it out with Grandpa. That could just be the wrinkly part at the top of his head.
No, it's like right at, you've got the wrinkly part and then right at the top he's got some spikes.
But there's an episode, right, where Grandpa is asleep and Bart puts the Hoover on his face and it sucks all his wrinkles down to make him look like Homer.
Right.
And it sucks that stuff in his head down and gives him a flat head like Homer has. So that's just a big clump of wrinkles at the top of his skull, I think.
So is Bart just really wrinkly?
No, that's Bart's hair, because there's episodes where Bart gets a haircut.
Yeah.
He gets a bad haircut in the episodes where Santa's little helper needs an operation.
Right.
And they shave some of his spikes off, and you can see like the round part of his head.
Right.
And I think there's an episode where he gets enrolled in a military school, and they shave his head there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, yeah, and Simpsons, the season 1, episode 1.
Simpsons roasting on an open fire.
That's the one. Marge smooths out his hair for church.
Yeah, that happens. It's like a temporary design in that episode because he messes it up again.
Yeah.
But that's like Bart's de facto church look going on.
Yeah. Obviously being bullied into it by Marge.
Yeah.
Before they go. So yeah, it definitely is his hair. So, but not with Grandpa for some reason.
Who knows?
Whatever.
I'm happy to call it a day the reviewer.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we've fully covered The Simpsons season 1 episode 4.
5.
I think we fully covered The Simpsons season 1 episode 5. Bart the General.
Yep, that's the one. Thank you for sticking around.
We'll be back next week to talk about
episode 6.
Morning Lisa.
Yeah. Aye.
I've been Connor.
I've been David. And this has been a T for 22 production.
This is Insert Brain here signing off.
Awesome.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.